Hi, and welcome to this episode of the UCM Short Film Showcase. I'm Dr. Mark von Schlemmer, and today I'm here with Zach Terrell. I can never say your name right. Terrell, Zach Terrell, it's not that tough. And Sydney Benton. Sydney is the protagonist of the film, and Zach, accept the role of antagonist in this film?
I didn't realize I was going to when I started, but by the end I most certainly was.
Yeah, and producer and director of the film. So you have a very unique film here, and we've argued a little bit about whether it really falls into the category of documentary. Have you decided that it is a documentary? In your mind, is it a documentary?
Yeah, in my mind it's a documentary, and the mind of just about everyone I've shown
really
also says it's a documentary and says you don't know what you're talking about, but we don't have to get into
well,
that now.
I hear that a lot, though.
Yeah.
So we'll let the audience decide for themselves whether they think it is. But
if you want to call it an experimental documentary, I won't stop.
No, I would at least add experimental in there. So what brought this film to you? What inspired you to tell this story or tell this the story of whatever it is?
This was spun out of a different idea that was also involving relationships, in particular my relationships. And so when that fell apart, Sydney and I were hanging out because we are in a relationship. So I decided that,
and still in a relationship even after the film. So that's important information to have.
And there were some topics that her and I that I've been pushing off discussing seriously because I have a hard time discussing things seriously, as you will certainly see. Yeah. So I decided I might as well exploit those things and make a film out of it because I think it would be good. I think it's a good way to look at conversations to be able to see an objective view of like how you're interacting, which was not something, like when I went into it, I thought it was going to be like 50-50, you know, some people will understand my side, some people will understand her side. Yeah. And then as I was editing, it slowly dawned on me that I was most certainly the bad guy in the situation for a multitude of reasons, and she was very, how would you say? She was the protagonist, as we said earlier.
So, Sydney, what was your experience making this film?
I mean, it was sprung on me kind of suddenly, I guess. I knew of his other idea, and I knew I was maybe going to be a part of that, and then it very quickly evolved into it being our story and a conversation
all about
between us, which was fine. I think it went well. Clearly we're still okay. And it was a conversation that needed to happen.
Yeah.
And it was just filmed.
Right. So was there a cathartic kind of outcome of this? Was it a conversation that, like you said, you needed to have? Did the conversation within the film help you out?
I think in some way our relationship maybe got stronger and better, and we were able to open up, and he was able to understand what I needed as far as conversation, and he was able to see how he looks at me when I'm upset, like how he smiles, and I think he became more self-aware, and I became more self-aware.
Interesting. And so, what's your take on it? What did you learn in the process?
I agree with her.
That might be the most valuable information we could have. Okay, interesting. Well, I think we should show the film now. So, so let's roll the film.
Did you think of something to banter about?
No. Did you?
No.
I asked you to.
This is your thing.
Yeah, but we still... It's our thing. You're always trying to push it off on me.
I'm not always trying to push it off on you.
You don't care about me.
Stop it.
What's something that we argue about?
I think we argue a lot about not spending enough time together. Or I feel like we spent a lot more time together even when I was in school and you were in school.
Yeah. Well, I was a lot less busy then. I took on too many things.
It feels like you brush off my frustration about it, and like you don't acknowledge that it is, I think, taking a toll on our relationship overall.
I think I acknowledge it, but I don't think there's like anything I can do. So that's why I brush it off. So I'm like, well, we can't. There's no. I mean, all we can do is wait until I'm finished, until I've graduated.
But even then,
you're not. My schedule opens up.
But even then, you're still staying here in Warrensburg.
Yeah. Yeah, you didn't like hearing that.
No. I didn't.
No, you didn't.
It's not funny.
I'm sorry. I got this.
No, you can't be serious.
I got this.
You
I'm
can't.
trying. It's hard. Being serious sucks. I told you when I said, oh, fuck, I knew you were going to hate it. When I reminded you that the reason I tried to cram this semester was that so we could live together, and then, like, that just didn't work out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, she's going to not like hearing this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I found that kind of funny.
Why did you find that funny?
Just that, like, shitty things keep happening.
I still don't see how that's funny.
I find there's some comedy in there. Like, you're laughing, like, of course. It's like ridiculous that this keeps happening. And that's why I find it kind of funny. It's not like a ha-ha funny. It's not like, ha-ha, what you thought was going to happen isn't. It's not like that.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what else to say about that.
Is
It's
that
not
because-
even so much living together. It's like I don't understand why we have to continue this long distance relationship, because that's been the entirety of our relationship has
Yeah.
been long distance.
It'll be easier. I'll be less busy.
Maybe.
Yeah. Like I said, I mean, you also could go to move to this.
I
town.
don't want to live in. What is here for me?
Me.
Mm.
I'm here for you. So, I don't know. I didn't look very hard to find a 6-month lease.
No, you didn't.
No.
That's another really frustrating thing about you is that
Yeah.
you don't try very hard to do things that you just don't want to do.
No, I do want to live with you. I just didn't want to.
I'm not talking about that.
Bother.
I'm talking about, like, it's a very simple thing to do a little bit more research to find a 6-month lease or to find someone to sublet your apartment, and you just, like, didn't try.
Nah, I didn't.
Just because you forgot or you
I
just didn't want to.
A mixture of forgetting and like pushing it off and being like, I'll do this later, and then I didn't.
I mean, I get that, but I
Mhm.
also don't like being the person who gets let down, and I don't like
Yeah.
that our relationship is the thing that gets put last a lot.
What do you think is in front of it?
I don't know. And I'm not saying that I have to be first or that our relationship has to be first all the time. I'm needy, but I'm not that needy.
Mm-hmm.
But occasionally it would feel nice to be a priority for you.
I think you're a priority for me.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, tell me what you're thinking.
I don't really have any thoughts.
I think you have a lot of thoughts. You don't.
I've
wanna
already
share
told you them, but you just don't listen to me.
I'm.
There are so many times where I
Thoughts.
wish you would just, like, tell me that, like, you hear me and that you hear what I'm feeling. And that you acknowledge the way that I'm feeling as opposed to just, like, throwing more thoughts at me.
But then that's like no dialogue between the two of us.
That's
I think you don't find it like more constructive if we're having a conversation.
no,
about
like, we
it
can
rather
have a
than just
conversation
venting?
about it, but it would be nice if you didn't just, like, brush over what I'm feeling.
Well, I'm like trying to get to the like bottom of how you're feeling, or give you like different perspectives on said feeling. I'm not trying to
make it seem like I don't care about your feeling, but I'm adding, there's like there's always a commentary on what someone's feeling. I'm trying to provide a different perspective.
Right.
What's the benefit of just someone telling another person something instead of having like a
I'm fine
more
with
two-way
having
street
a
about it?
conversation, but you don't acknowledge what I say. It just feels like you talk over me and talk over my thoughts.
What?
I'm fine with having a conversation.
But isn't there like a baseline of acknowledgement between the two of us that we don't have to constantly like jump back to? We know that we acknowledge each other and we can move more efficiently than that.
Maybe that's how you are. Maybe you're fine with that.
Why aren't you fine with it?
Because I think a lot of my life, my thoughts, and my feelings have been brushed over. And they've always been put on the back burner. And so it's very hurtful when you do it to me. Because I feel like I try really hard to acknowledge your thoughts and feelings and understand them. And I don't think that you do the same for me.
I do like acknowledge you and your feelings. But I don't think that's like I always feel like it's not necessary to say that. Not necessary to like make it obvious or like it's just like we always have this state of of course we acknowledge each other's feelings. There's like a good amount, like a fair assumption that we acknowledge each other's feelings feelings. Does that like do you feel that at all?
That we just already acknowledge each other?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I do it differently.
Okay. All right.
You want to talk about something else? You want to keep going?
I would talk about something.